what is Gatekeeper Helpline? And National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences and Institute of National Importance create a for gatekeeper helplines for the prisoners and prison staff. So gatekeeper model provides the inmates trained to identify prisoners at risk of suicide. So how the prisoners go for suicide cases? जेल में बंद अपराधी आत्महत्या करने के लिए क्यों मजबूर हो जाते हैं? ड्यू टू शेयर डिप्रेशंस एंड लो मोरल कंससनेस लीड्स टू डेथ ऑफ प्रिजनर्स. सो उनके लिए गेटकीपर हेल्पलाइन बनाया गया और प्रोवाइडिंग सपोर्ट एंड ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ द प्रिजनर्स. And also the advisory pointed to the prevalence of mental illness and substances use disorder in about 80% of the prison population. Remember these facts, 80% population in prison suffer from mental health problems. Now, Ministry of Heavy Industry has launched 6 technology innovation platforms. What are the platforms launched under Production Link Incentive? Ministry of Innovation and Industries have launched this platform which are under Production Link Incentive. That means the incentive to be provided during the production period. That is Drishti, developed by the Central Manufacturing Technology Institute CMTI Bangalore, focused on machine tool sector. Second is Technology and Innovation Platform, developed by HMT Hindustan Machine Tools in association with IAS Bangalore, focused on import reduction and machine tool sector. Then third is Sanrachana, a digitally enabled platform developed by Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited. Sanrachana by BHEL. Then power electronics sector, that is KITE, knowledge integration for technology enrichment, KITE, which is developed by IIT Madras in order to focus on virtual reality platform and automation, advanced manufacturing of technological platforms. Then there is Aspire, that is automatic solution portal for industry research and educational platform, where we also studied Aspire first. That was by the Ministry of Education during the education sector development for the college going students. And this Aspire is for development of micro, small and medium economies and electronic sectors. Now, what are the suggestions in terms of IP financing and counterfeits? There should be proper laws, then voluntary licensing for tech transfer and ease of supply, and IPR policy review of 64% of intellectual property rights by non-residents and foreign entities, and re-establish including AI, patents, copyrights, acts. Then uniform system of intellectual property valuation as an intangible asset. Next part is patents that are granted to include entities, traditional knowledge for inclusivity, approve patents to the plants that are creating new assets and new programs by government participants, patent pendings, inwards of infringement and copyrights. Now, what are the things that makes the news? Is traditional flowers getting GI tag for the Madurai Malli, a variety of jasmine flower. So GI tag मिला है मित्रों किसे? GI tag for jasmine flower, naming Madurai Malli. As the name suggests, Madurai कहाँ पे? Karnataka. Exported and being exported from Tamil Nadu to the countries such as US and UAE. So America और UAE से ये export किया जा रहा है, and that again goes a GI tag, gets supplied to the DTs at home and other locations. Then that is why Madurai is called as the Jasmine capital of India. Now there is Fazil mango which makes the news. So what it does, Fazil mango variety of source from the Malda district of West Bengal. तो मालदा का फाजिल आम, इसे क्या दिया गया है, GI टैग. And week long with 16 varieties fruits including 3 others GI certification of Kheer Sapatin, Lakshman Bhog and Jardalu Aam from Bihar. So 3 mangoes getting GI tag, Kheer Sapati, Jardalu and Fazil. Then what is Bhalia wheat? कौन सी गेहूं को भालिया गेहूं कहते हैं? That got a GI tag. Oh, that is a Bhalia variety from wheat from Kenya and Sri Lanka to Gujarat. अब ये गुजरात में उगाई जा रही है गेहूं की वैरायटी. That is called as the Bhalia wheat and that is first shipment and known as the GI tag in India, and it is mostly done by Bhil community in Bhal region of Gujarat. So that is called as the Bhalia wheat. In Ahmedabad, Anand, Kheda, Bhavnagar, Surendranagar, Bharuch district of Gujarat, and unique character of the wheat lies in the growth in rain-fed area conditions without irrigation. So इस गेहूं की खासियत ये है कि बिना कोई इरिगेशन फैसिलिटी के भी ये उगाई जा सकती है. That is why it is very important and it has high protein content and sweet in the taste. So high protein and glucose and glucose. That is why it has been given a GI tag. Now we should look into the certain places that makes the news across India. So far is the Madhya Pradesh Bakswaha diamond mining, which makes the Bundelkhand and water scarcity worst. तो वहाँ पे खादान में खुदाई होने के चलते डायमंड के वाटर की स्कैरसिटी होगी. एंड नेक्स्ट इज हिमाचल प्रदेश, हेवी रेन ट्रिगर्स फ्लैश फ्लड इन लैंडस्लाइड. हिमाचल में फ्लडिंग हो रही है ड्यू टू हेवी रेन एंड फॉरेस्ट डिफॉरेस्टेशन. हरियाणा, आर्कियोलॉजिकल डिस्कवरीज केव पेंटिंग्स बिलीव्ड टू बी ऑफ अपर पैलियोलिथिक एज. हरियाणा में केव पेंटिंग मिली है खुदाई में एंड दैट इज बिल्ट टू बी ऑफ अपर पैलियोलिथिक एज, दैट इज बिफोर 5000 BCE. Then there is छत्तीसगढ़ लेमरू एलिफेंट रिजर्व proposed. छत्तीसगढ़ में नया हाथी संरक्षण क्षेत्र, that is लेमरू. Remember this fact. These are all factual points for your prelims. Arunachal Pradesh last blast for the escape of under construction Sela Tumdi connected. So Arunachal Pradesh में शेला टुमड़ी. Assam मानस नेशनल पार्क, massive spike of tiger population from 0 to 48. मानस टाइगर रिजर्व में एक टाइम 0 हो गई थी बाघों की संख्या, अब वो बढ़ के 48 हो गई है. दैट इज न्यूज. बाघजाम इज येट टू रिकवर फ्रॉम 5 months long period. Then Nagaland has been declared disturbed area under AFSPA. AFSPA फिर से नागालैंड में लागू हो गया है. And Meghalaya having green सोहरा एफ्रोस्टेशन कैंपेन लॉन्च्ड. मेघालय को हरित भरित करने के लिए फिर से ग्रीन सोहरा फेस्टिवल चालू किया गया है. देन इन बिहार वर्क ऑन नेशनल डॉल्फिन रिसर्च सेंटर एट भागलपुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट. तेलंगाना काकातिया रुद्रेश्वरन टेम्पल, रामप्पा टेम्पल इंक्लूडेड इन यूनेस्को वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज लिस्ट विच आई टॉट यू अर्लियर. अंडमान निकोबार इंडियन कोस्ट गार्ड रेस्क्यूड डिस्ट्रेस्ड फिशिंग बोट एट Tillachong Island. Which island? It can be asked by UPSC in prelims. Which island? Tillachong Island in Andaman has been rescued by Indian Navy. Then in Tamil Nadu, work beggar in the 5th unit of nuclear reactors. Nuclear reactors के 5th unit को install किया गया तमिलनाडु में. Kerala having green freight corridor number 2. Coastal shipping services started. केरला में कोस्टल शिपिंग सर्विस को स्टार्ट किया गया है. देन इन महाराष्ट्र वी आर हैविंग प्रोटेस्ट अगेन मल्टीपर्पज नारगोल विलेज. मल्टीपर्पज पोर्ट बन रहा है कहाँ पे? नारगोल विलेज में. रिमेंबर दिस विलेज, जो कि काफ़ी न्यूज़ में हाईलाइट रहा. विलेजर्स आर प्रोटेस्टिंग अगेंस्ट द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ मल्टीपर्पज प्रोजेक्ट. बायोडाइवर्सिटी रिच थाने क्रीक प्रपोज्ड. to be included in the Ramsar site. थाने क्रीक को रामसर साइट में ऐड कर लिया गया है. Remember थाने क्रीक for your prelims point of view. Then Gujarat having crocodiles were shifted from Panchmuli Lake to a Statue of Unity. PM inaugurates India's first redeveloped railway station at गांधीनगर. गांधीनगर में क्या किया गया? Redeveloped station बनाया गया. धोलावीरा included in UNESCO World Heritage List. Then Rajasthan, Ramgarh Vishdhari Sanctuary approved into fourth Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan. Remember the short terms in the news. Then at global level, the major news which covering Georgia, 400-year-old relic of Queen Ketevan of Georgia. क्वीन केटबिन की 400 साल पुरानी प्रतिमा मिली है. Then corridor along with the coast of Black Sea include UNESCO World Heritage Site. Then Israel claims UAE become the first Gulf nation to open its embassy at Tel Aviv. That is again a good news with Israel's relationship with UAE. Then France, INS Tabar entered the port of Brest. भारत का INS इंडियन नेवल शिप ताबार फ्रांस में जा चुका है. बेल्जियम कॉलोनाइजर्स ऑफ बेनीवोलेंस इंक्लूड यूनेस्को वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज लिस्ट. बेनीवोलेंस के लिए यानी सहानुभूति और सहिष्णुता के लिए जो जगह बनाया गया था वो यूनेस्को वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज लिस्ट में ऐड कर लिया गया है. नॉर्दर्न आयरलैंड में यूरोपियन यूनियन रिजेक्टेड ब्रिटेन्स डिमांड टू पोस्ट ब्रेक्सिट डील्स ऑन नॉर्दर्न आइलैंड. क्यूबा की बात करें, देन क्यूबा इज ए स्मॉल आइलैंड. वी आल्सो स्टडीड क्यूबन मिसाइल क्राइसिस इन एनसीईआरटी. सो देयर इज अ सोबेराना 2 वैक्सीन्स, वर्ल्ड फर्स्ट कंजुगेट वैक्सीन. आप देख रहे हैं इट इज अ कम्युनिस्ट नेशन एंड इट हैज डेवलप्ड अ फर्स्ट कंजुगेट वैक्सीन ऑफ द वर्ल्ड दैट इज नोन एज सोबेराना. रिमेंबर दिस नेम, सोबेराना वैक्सीन्स, वर्ल्ड्स फर्स्ट कंजुगेट वैक्सीन फॉर कोविड-19, कोरोना के लड़ने के लिए फर्स्ट कंजुगेट वैक्सीन. हाइटी हैज जोवेनेल Moise as the president of Haiti. Then Zambia having MOU with standing promote cooperation in personal administration and government. Ghana is having issues with the Africa's first social bond. पहला सोशल बॉन्ड अफ्रीका में घाना के द्वारा इशू किया गया. UN panel paid out $600 million to Quest National and Operation Parks Cooperation and compensation of Iraq's invasion. Then लेबनान मेक्स न्यूज़ फॉर रायट्स इन ट्रिपोली. लेबनान में दंगे फसाद हो रहे थे. इस्टवाटिनी प्रोटेस्ट अगेंस्ट किंग मस्वाती थर्ड, अगेन यहाँ पे राइट्स हो रहे हैं. अफगानिस्तान लेट्स यूएस विड्रॉल लीड्स टू राइज ऑफ तालिबान. हम देख रहे हैं अफगानिस्तान में तालिबान गवर्नमेंट आ गई है. टर्की हैज़ अरसलान टेपे माउंट आर्कोलॉजिकल इंक्लूडिंग यूनेस्कोज वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट. Then Thailand, remember this UNESCO World Heritage Site, very important. Thailand having a part of mountain ridge Malay Peninsula, again UNESCO World Heritage Site. Armenia seeks Russian forces on Azerbaijan border amidst tension. Taiwan has decided to set up first representative office in Lithuania using Taiwan as name instead of Taipei. Then Netherlands, colonies of benevolence and Dutch water defense lines including UNESCO World Heritage List. Uzbekistan having international conference Central and South Asian regional connectivity at Tashkent. So international news हो गए. Now we should look into some other people of historical nature which makes the headline. So भक्ति कल्चर के टाइम में हमने देखा था लल्लेश्वरी देवी और लाल देवी, जिन्हें कहा गया लाल देड, जो कि 14th सेंचुरी की मिस्टिक पोएट थी कश्मीर में, एंड विच रोट द लाल वखास हैविंग इन मीरी लैंग्वेज. सो इट वाज ट्रेडिशनली मिस्टिसिज्म एंड पॉपुलर भक्ति मूवमेंट एंड सूफी मूवमेंट. भक्ति मूवमेंट के टाइम में लालेश्वरी देवी ने कुछ गाने लिखे लाल सूफी पे, जिसके चलते समाज में शांति और धार्मिक प्रवृत्ति का विस्तार हुआ. सो व्हाट इट गोज फॉर डिवोशन एंड स्पिरिचुअलिज्म, अगेन for sociology optional, and ethics paper 4. She helped people to enter into a spiritual consciousness and way of enlightenment. Then Srimanta Shankara Deva of Assam, Nagaland district, and Batharva Deva spelled Bordwana in September 1499, and it's conceived a Satariya dance. तो श्रीमंता शंकर देव आसाम के नागाउन जिले में हुए जिन्होंने सतरिया डांस सिखाया. एंड फाउंडेशन ऑफ अंकिया नाथ, ए फॉर्म ऑफ वन एक्ट प्ले. सो एक्ट एक ड्रामा काइंड ऑफ एक्ट दैट वाज स्टार्टेड बाय द स्वामी जी श्रीमंत शंकर देवा. ही रोट सम पोएटिक वर्क्स, कीर्तन घोषणा, हरिश्चंद्र उपन्याना, बाली चलाना, एक्सेट्रा. So what is his issue in the news? Social consciousness and humanism. So he taught the masses of social consciousness. That means society should be developed on the basis of consciousness, and humanism, that is humanitarian behavior. That again a part of ethics, paper 4. You can use it in your mains as well as prelims also, by providing virtues, truthfulness and love for humanity. Then comes the most famous Bal Gangadhar Tilak, father of Indian unrest, and Valentine Chirol. Swarajya demanded by him. He was charged with the sedition in 1897. He gave Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. And he wrote the newspaper Kesari and Maratha in English. And he also wrote Gita Rahasya. He founded and presided Indian Home Rule League. Again, very, very important. Remember, for your prelims, it has been frequently asked by UPSC and other state PCS examinations. So, values he taught is patriotism and resilience. That means people should be patriotic in nature and he should follow resilience, and his whole life revolves around independence, freedom for the nation. His political philosophy goes around the heart and soul fight for the nation, and he was a pro-radical leader. Then comes the Kadambini Ganguly. She was the first woman of modern India, became trained as a physician 1886 Calcutta Medical College with Anandi Gopal Joshi. Remember these two names, Kadambini Ganguly and Anandi Joshi. These were two female learned medical science in Calcutta. And she was the first female speaker and Indian National Congress leader, with the sixth female delegates that take part into the India's female struggle during earlier 90s. So 1906 Women Conference presided by Kadambini Ganguly. So she was struggle with the issue of social barriers, sati pratha and other issues of women, gender equality. She fought for the women rights, particularly from the coke workers. Then comes Swami Vivekananda. He was born as Narendra Datta and chief disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahansa. He also established Ramakrishna Mission at Ramakrishna Mutt in 1897. Ramakrishna and Vivekananda also delivered a fabulous speech in the year 1893 in the Chicago Convention, which is frequently asked in various examinations. That is the world parliament religion. His four classical includes Jnana Yoga, that is Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga and Raja Yoga, which includes the outstanding treatise of Hindu tradition and meditation practices. His main philosophy was rationalism and spiritualism. That means people should take a rational choice in decision making. Further, there should be a rational questioning in order to take and analyze any kind of situation. That is again part of your decision making, and again you can use it in paper 4 answer writing, GS as well as GS ethics as well as essay writing also. He emphasizes on mass education and enlightenment thought. So he profiled for the education of the masses to the rural India as well as the urban areas at massive level in order to make enlightened society. And religion for him was essentially a spiritual force, and with the rise of Hinduism. Then Rukhmabai Raut, remember this name as a first kind of physician of India, 1864. Rukhmabai Raut was earliest qualified women physician. So earlier we read about Kadambini Ganguly, then next Rukhmabai Raut, and she was also cause behind the enactment of Age of Consent Act of 1891. What is this Act of 1891, friends? Earlier there was a sati pratha and there was a child marriage policy in India. So under Hindu Marriage Act there was a rule that provide the early marriage of girl child below the age of 16. So Rukmabai Rawat, again a social leader, preached for the gender equality and women empowerment. Therefore, she advocated the rise of these Age of Consent Act based on Dadaji Bhikaji versus Rukmabai case of 1885. Remember this case. In writing paper 2, governance as well as ethics, paper 4. She again propelled philosophy of free spirit and courage, and there was struggle against the social conformity for the women equality, women education and women emancipation. She revolted against her child marriage status and for the cause of consent. She was herself married to an older person and she became so revolutionary person that she lost a case against her own husband seeking the Age of Consent Act to the court level by asking for a natural justice principle for the woman child when she was below the age of 20s. That makes again a social cause and social consciousness for the women. Then next news is Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy. What is Bidhan Chandra Roy? Born in Patna, Roy was friend and physician of Gandhi. He was instrumental in stability TB, that is tuberculosis, and cancer hospitals in India, and was a mayor of Calcutta, member of Congress Working Committee. He edited journals Forward and Bangabasi, Atma Bhakti, and she was founding chairman of such various organizations. And therefore, a National Doctors Day is celebrated in the name of Bidhan Chandra Roy. Remember his very important contribution. So National Doctors Day was celebrated during the COVID period. कोविड में हमने देखा कि बहुत सारे डॉक्टरों ने बहुत सारे मरीजों को बचाते हुए जान दे दी, अपनी जान की बलिदान दी. So National Doctor Day again makes the ethical point of view so that we should look into the moral earnestness of medicines and doctors as a profession which contribute their life for caring patients. So his philosophy was professionalism and public spirit. Again goes for professional behavior in the conduct in the office and a public spirit. Further, it provides medicines and for the development of railway station and makes the wholeness of patients at the railway stations and bus stands. He served as a mayor and vice chancellor and governor of the state. Now let us look into the questions for your prelims point of view from this month of July current affair. So the first question goes with the reference of Nipun Bharat Mission. हमने अभी पढ़ा था, बताएं आप. So what is it laws as a part of national education policy? क्या ये national education policy 2020 का भाग है? And it aims to cover learning needs of children in the age group of 6 to 14 years. Which is correct option? So correct is only one, that is a part of national education policy. In it caters the overage people again in graduation and post graduation level. So option A is correct. Now let us go into the explanation, that is aims for the proficiency of reading with the understanding of numeracy, that is Nipun, and it resumes under the national education policy and it ends at a grade 3 by 2016 and 2027, and it provides holistic, integrated, inclusive, enjoyable and engaging infrastructure for development of education by Department of School Education and Literacy and national, state, district, block, school level education of all the states and union territories are prescribed. Further, foundational skills, reading, writing, learning skills, dropout, transition skills are provided under this Nipun Abhiyan. Innovative pedagogies such as toy based education, experiential learning and using in the classroom transaction, thereby making learning joyful and easy for the students to understand. Holistic development of child by focusing on different domains, development like physical and motor development, socio-emotional development, literacy, numeracy, cognitive development, life skills which are important, and children to achieve learning trajectory by making positive impact in the society. Next question, what is which of the following countries are member of OPEC plus, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries plus, which we studied in the July current affair. So India is a member, yes or no? No, it's not. Azerbaijan, yes. Malaysia, yes. So option B is the correct answer, 2 and 3. OPEC is a organization that establishes and contributes in the oil and diesel prices in the global market in terms of producers as well as dealers. Further, it works with the Algeria, Angola, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Libya, Nigeria, Republic of Congo, Saudi Arabia, United Emirates, Venezuela. All these are part of OPEC plus, but not India, which makes a point why India is not a member. So OPEC plus also contributes Russia, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Brunei, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Mexico, Oman, South Sudan, and the Sudan itself. Next question is, with reference to the anti-dumping duties, consider the following statement. What is anti-dumping and what is anti-dumping duty, ADD? So when there are various kind of product produced inside a country, then there are certain inferior commodities that do not have the same value as of the proper product manufactured. तो उन प्रोडक्ट को चीप प्राइस में बेचने के लिए वो कंट्रीज़ वैसे प्रोडक्ट को दूसरे कंट्रीज़ में चीप रेट पे ट्रांसपोर्ट कर देती हैं, एक्सपोर्ट कर देती हैं. दैट प्रोडक्ट्स आर कॉल्ड एज द डम्प्ड प्रोडक्ट. So there is an anti-dumping duty imposed by the that country in order to prevent the dumping of those inferior goods. So remember, inferior goods and dumping of those products into other countries. So what the question says is, with reference to anti-dumping duties, consider the following statement. So these are tariffs levied on imported goods to offset subsidies made to producers to these goods in the exporting countries, and Director General of Trade Remedies is the apex organization for India for carrying out investigation and recommending the amount of anti-dumping duty, which is correct. So option 2 is the correct answer. Okay. So look into the details. It caters the countervailing duties and have the jurisdiction under Custom and Tariff Act. Okay. Now question 4 is, a new legislative council in a state can be created. How a new legislative council in the states can be created, under which article, friends? Put into the comment box. So if a concerned state's legislature passes a resolution for with a simple majority, first, then second is on recommendation of the governor. कैसे नई लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल स्टेट में बनाई जा सकती है? क्या गवर्नर के पास ये पावर है? और if Rajya passes a resolution supported by 2/3 of the members present and voting, or if the concerned state legislature passes a resolution for with a special majority, this is the correct answer. कोई भी राज्य में अगर नई लेजिस्लेटिव बॉडी बनानी है तो स्पेशल मेजॉरिटी, दैट इज मोर देन 2/3 of present and voting, greater than 2/3 of present and voting members in the parliament, तो उसके कंसर्न से ये बनाई जा सकती है. The Constitution of India provides for the abolition of creation of legislative council in the states. According to Parliament, which can abolish a legislative council which is already existing, and it can create a new council where it is not existing. That is a part and parcel of power of Parliament under Article 368. Okay, remember this part. Now next is Pilari Conservation Reserve, seen in the news, is located in which part of India? So we discussed the conservation reserves in Eastern Ghats as well as Western Ghats. Pilari Conservation Reserve, Western Ghats. Remember this fact for your UPSC prelims. Maharashtra, Pilari. Semi-evergreen forest with tropical moist deciduous forest and a number of unique trees in butterflies and flowers. Okay. Next question is, an ecological footprint is total area of land requires to sustain an activity or population. Is it correct or incorrect? So, ecological footprint data is used to calculate Earth overshoot day. So, both are correct options. Option C is correct. What is ecological footprints? It is a method promoted by Global Footprint Network to measure human demand on natural capital. And Earth Overshoot Day marks the date where the humanity's demand for ecological resources, fish, forest and services are given year exceeds the needed by the earth to generate in that year. जो मैंने अभी पढ़ाया आपको. And it is the measure of Earth's biocapacity to the ratio of humans' ecological footprints into 365. That is Earth's biocapacity divided by humanity's ecological footprint into 365. ये क्या रेशियो देता है? That gives Earth overshoot day. Okay friends, remember this fact. So, the prime driver was 6.6% increase in the global carbon footprint by 2020. We were claiming in COP26 कि हम कार्बन फुटप्रिंट को रिड्यूस कर रहे हैं, कार्बन प्रोडक्शन डिक्लाइन कर चुका है, बट स्टिल वी सी दैट द राइज ऑफ 6.6%. Okay, so rise in the global demand of carbon again decreases, and 0.5% decrease in the global forest biocapacity by forest fire in the Amazon forest. Amazon forest ब्राज़ील में बहुत सारे पेड़ नष्ट हो गए लगातार आग लगने के चलते. Question again next goes for Reserve Bank of India allows non-bank payment system ESPs for participation in the centralized payment system as a direct member. What does that mean? First, it means allotment of separate IFSC to non-banks. Second, non-banks are not allowed to open a current account with RBI in core banking system. And third, non-banks are not allowed membership of Indian financial system. So, which is the correct option? A 1 and 2, B 2 and 3, C 1 and 3, and D all of the above. So, all of the above are correct. RBI provides non-banking payment system PSPs and mobile wallet, card networks and white label ATM operations to participate in the centralized processing system. Very, very important for 2022 aspirants in prelims. Centralized processing includes real-time gross settlement RTGS and National Electronic Fund Transfer NEFT, which we also see in the news, and allotment of separate Indian Financial System Code IFSC to non-banks. Then there is core banking system eKuber maintaining settlement account. Then there is Infinite Financial Network, Infinite. Then there is Structured Financial Messaging System SFMS and CPS. Then there is co-payment ecosystem. Further, non-banks and CPE lowers overall risk of the payment ecosystem. Remember this fact. Next question is, which of the following statement are correct regarding Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO के लिए क्या important है? It is a Eurasian Political, Economic and Security Alliance. RATS is a permanent organ of SCO and India is observer state of SCO. Third is incorrect. India is not observer state at SCO. So, these two are correct option. Shanghai Cooperation Organization is an Eurasian Political, Economic and Security Council settled in 15 June 2001 in Shanghai, China, and participation of China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan as a member. Then India was made an observer at 2005, then it was removed. Pakistan become permanent member 2017, then India take it back. Now next question is national mineral inventory. Largest reserve of gold are located in which state of India? Largest reserve of gold are located in the state of Bihar. D is correct option. National mineral inventory under the Indian Bureau of Mines indicates 501.83 million ton of gold reserve in April 2015, found to be 17.22 million tons present in the best category, and reserve of gold allocated in Bihar 44% of gold. Remember this data. It is Bihar state is having 44% of gold, followed by Rajasthan 25% and Karnataka 21% gold. So gold is again very important, as it makes the form of statutory liquidity ratio of the banks, and there is gold monetization scheme, sovereign gold bond. Gold becomes very important. Geological Survey of India actively engaged the geological manipulation, mapping, followed by mineral exploration and commodification of gold varieties from the mines. Next question is UNESCO recently removed which of the following site from World Heritage List? So city of Liverpool has been removed from the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, why it was removed? Removed Liverpool Maritime Mercantile City from the world's largest 9 years, after which irreversible loss of attributes conveying the outstanding universal value of property. Regions for removal site becomes 6 areas of historical center, dockland and maritime mercantile city as a heritage part of World Heritage Site and World Trade Center. Now that is the end of July current affair, and I believe that you understand all the fact and figures very well. So I believe that you have understand all the facts and figures for this version of news edition, and to make notes of all the questions that is discussed, read, revise, repeat, be war ready, because this year prelims is going to be very important. Thank you and have a nice day. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.